How's it going, guys? I hope you guys are having a great week. So I'm back today because I wanted to talk about the Dragon Age, the Veilguard trailer in a lot more detail. Obviously, I uploaded my initial reaction to the trailer yesterday, which obviously was from the Xbox Game Showcase. And as you guys could see, I was incredibly hyped and excited, just so excited and kind of overwhelmed to see something Dragon Age. Dragon Age is one of my favorite franchises. As you all know, it's a close second to Mass Effect, but I love this series, and it's been 10 years since Dragon Age Inquisition. And so, yeah, I was kind of blown away to finally see something, to actually meet our 7 companions, to see Varric again, to see Harding again, that she's going to be in our party, which really had me excited because I loved her character in Inquisition. And then I was absolutely just blown away by the fact that the game is coming out in fall 2024. I was really not expecting that. I really thought it was going to come out in 2025. In fact, I was pretty confident it was going to come out in 2025. So I was really surprised by that. As you probably can see from my reaction, I was just caught up in the moment, really excited, just blown away, and I'm sure that came across, and that was a very genuine feeling in that moment. I have, of course, gone back and re-looked at the trailer multiple times, and one thing that really has stood out to me is this trailer has definitely left people feeling very torn about Dragon Age the Veilguard, with good reason. A lot of the comments in my reaction video, a lot of them were quite negative about the trailer, quite negative about the tone of the trailer, the art style and art direction. And those are fair points. Those are fair feelings. And I can absolutely understand where people are coming from. So what I wanted today, because I always do believe in covering the community sentiment, in covering people's reactions and responses, and, you know, going and having a deep dive on things. And so I wanted to actually go back today, and what I thought would be kind of interesting was to compare this trailer that we got for Veilguard to previous trailers that we've had in the past. More specifically, one trailer for Dragon Age Inquisition, which introduced some of our companions. And I want to go back, look at that trailer, re-look again at the trailer that came out yesterday, and really break it down as to why people maybe are unhappy, and obviously give my thoughts on the whole situation and the trailer itself as well, of course. So let's jump straight in. We're going to start off, this is like a trip down memory lane for me, guys. So we're actually going to start off by watching one of the trailers from Dragon Age Inquisition, and this was basically I think it's called Stand Together, which is where they first introduced your companions. So let's jump in. I'm going to put my headphones on, and we're going to watch this back through together, and then obviously comment on it. So let me just get back on that.
The threat has brought them from across the world. Blackwall, a Grey Warden, will be no stranger to giving his life in defense of others. And this war may ask it from all of us. Serra, a wild card who draws strength from the common, not halls of power. As passionate and reactionary as the groundswell she brings. The Iron Bull, a Kunari mercenary strong enough to overcome anything except the life he left behind. Vivienne, a mage with both ambition and incredible power. But what is her true agenda? The time has come for us to stand together. Whatever we were before, we are now the Inquisition.
Oh my God, guys, that's like a serious trip down memory lane for me there. I got a little bit emotional, I'm not going to lie. I loved Dragon Age Inquisition. So that was them obviously introducing not all, but some of your companions. And then after this, subsequent to this trailer, BioWare basically released regular, like, companion specific trailers which broke down in a lot more detail about each of these companions, their class, their abilities, all those sorts of things, and their backstory, and that kind of thing. I anticipate we will probably get the same for Veilguard. I would expect that that's what we will get, in terms of giving us more of a deep dive look at these characters. But these are very similar styles in that they were meant to give you a brief overview of, you know, some of the companions and like introduce obviously at this point the Inquisition, and then obviously in the recent Veilguard trailer, the Veilguard, right, which is what we are leading in the next Dragon Age game. So let's put a pause in this, put a pin in this, and we are going to re-watch the actual Veilguard trailer. I'm going to re-watch that again, and then we will actually talk about it, and we'll break it down, and we'll kind of talk about it together. So let's do that and see how this goes.
Not looking good, old friend. This'll take more than you and me.
What are you thinking?
We need someone to be our eyes and ears in the shadows.
And someone to bring a little darkness to the daylight.
We're going into the Fade, aren't we?
And digging up a lot of buried secrets.
What about Darkspawn?
Yeah. Someone who will stand between us and a pack of demons.
You know there will be dragons.
Right. We'll need someone with fire in their blood. One more thing. This crew needs a leader. Someone we can count on. Someone that the world can count on. But where are we gonna find her?
Very different tonally. I think the biggest issue that people have with this new trailer is the complete shift in tone. Even if we look back at earlier Dreadwolf, like Dragon Age trailers, they're always darker, very dark, and that is what Dragon Age is. It is a dark fantasy RPG. That is what people like about it. Is like it's dark, it's gritty, there's blood, there's demons, there's dragons, there's darkspawn, it's usually end of the world stakes, you know, that kind of thing. And that is what, you know, Dragon Age is. So I think this is probably one of the biggest issues people have is the tonal shift. I think as well the way in which they introduce these characters, it could have been better. 100% agree with people on that. I think had they done something a little bit more similar to Dragon Age Inquisition, where we had like kind of a voiceover talking about obviously the stakes, the, you know, the Dread Wolf, the big bad, what's going on, the fact that we need to form a Veilguard. It could have been even cool if they were around like a table and they had all these like intel, you know, in front of you, and they were talking about each of the members, you know, of the Veilguard and potential candidates for the Veilguard and stuff like this. But the way in which this is marketed, the way in which this is brought across, it's too it's too flimsy. For me, it doesn't give me the vibe of Dragon Age. It gives me more the vibe of like games like action hero shooters like Overwatch, for example, where you're highlighting these different classes and archetypes and characters and things like that. And I think the art style very much does push towards that as well in terms of the characters. I don't have a real issue with the way that the characters look. I don't have an issue with that at all. What I would say is I do have an issue with the tone. I think the tone of this marketing isn't right. I think it doesn't showcase the characters, the companions, the game in the best light that it could do. And yeah, for a hardcore Dragon Age fan, it doesn't feel Dragon Age, it doesn't, it feels different. And I think that's one of the biggest issues that people do have with it, is the tone and the more sort of cartoony, to a degree, character designs. Now the Dragon Age Twitter account has actually shared some actual concept art to kind of reassure fans and sort of say, well, this is actually what the game looks like. This is some of the art style that has been shared by BioWare, by Mike Gamble, by the Dragon Age Twitter account, just to give a sense of the world. And guys, it looks gorgeous. It looks absolutely beautiful. I am very excited to see the next Dragon Age on, I think it's on Unreal Engine 5. I think they've put the Frostbite engine behind them, or at least I hope they have. But some of these locations look amazing. Now, we did get another cutscene for the characters, which is worth looking at, absolutely. So if we kind of bring this here, and what I want to do is I want to hold them up against the Dragon Age Inquisition characters that we've had previously, and just kind of showcase it for you guys a little bit. So obviously, these are our beloved characters from Inquisition, and we can see here, yes, it's a different engine, so they do look different. But I would say this art style definitely does a better job of showcasing the characters, obviously, and they do look better here. They do look a lot better here. I think they look a little bit cartoony in that their eyes are bigger than we would expect from it. But I do think that the trailer was sort of almost like an exaggerated version of these characters, and maybe the real sort of final game will look a little bit more in line with this. What I would say though is I do think that Varric looks really weird. So I think the only other thing that I have a bit of a kind of a small issue with is the look of Varric. So if we actually compare this Varric to earlier Varrics, he looks very, very, very different. Even in different lighting, this is obviously, darker lighting. This Varric is a much, much older Varric. The Varric that we know has more sort of strawberry blonde, almost reddish hair. And yeah, like he's very different. This is a much older Varric, and his nose is definitely more like stronger, basically in design. But this is like, Varric doesn't have dark hair or grey hair. So I am curious as to how long after Inquisition the events of Veilguard actually take place. This is definitely a much older Varric. Definitely still him, because we can tell that from the voice and the voiceover and the quips and the humor, and that's very, very Varric, right? Same with Harding. So, these two characters bounce well off of each other. But yeah, this is a much older Varric, so I'm very interested to obviously learn more about it. I think the reaction to this trailer has been quite extreme, quite severe, and I think it's fair. I mean, obviously people have been waiting years for Dreadwolf. I keep saying Dreadwolf. People have been waiting years for the next Dragon Age game. It's been 10 years since Inquisition. Really, a lot of what we've gotten with the next Dragon Age in the last several trailers really hasn't been much. We haven't seen much. So there's been a lot of mystery. There's been a lot of questions on things. And I think as well recently with the recent name change, a lot of people were worried about that, because that was a very sudden change from Dragon Age Dreadwolf into Dragon Age the Veilguard. personally speaking, I don't hate the name, but also it hasn't really stuck with me, and I do think it would be better just going Dragon Age Veilguard and just get rid of the I think that's a bit sort of wishy-washy, but yeah, I think people were a bit concerned because of the name change, because of the tonal shift. I think people were concerned about whether or not, you know, BioWare are staying true to what people love about Dragon Age, which is the fact that it is a dark fantasy game, you know, that it is darker, it is grittier, and that's cool, you know. And we that's one of the things we love about Dragon Age, is the fact that the world is quite dark, and you do make hard choices and things like that. There is political intrigue, there's all sorts of things, like, it's just really good. It's a really great world and lore, and I can't wait to jump back into Thedas, to jump back into the lore of Dragon Age, and that's probably why I was so excited just to see more. Now, apparently, we did also hear that there is actually a Dragon Age Community Council that was actually recruited and involved in this game. And we have had some tweets from a couple of members, including Carla, Shinobi, Ash as well, so Lady Insanity, and they kind of stepped in to sort of reassure the community almost, and sort of said that, you know, we got hands-on with Dragon Age the Veilguard. I think they got to play it twice, once in 2022, once in 2023, but, you know, Carla did go on to sort of say that, you know, please wait until the gameplay, you know, give it chance. Obviously, they said that what they did play was incredible. This is what Carla basically had to say. So she said, I played Dragon Age the Veilguard because I was also on the community council, and it's been one of the most amazing experiences of my life. We've spent the last few years providing feedback, and I think BioWare made something truly special. It's a little different, but it's also dark and beautiful, and I genuinely loved it. Am I biased? Of course, Dragon Age has changed my life, but what I have played, I loved as a die-hard Dragon Age fan, and I hope everyone enjoys the gameplay reveal on Tuesday. But what they did is special, and another team is excited for everyone to actually see the game. I'm always honest in my opinions, and you'll hear my honest criticisms too, but go in with an open mind. I think it's the most beautiful Dragon Age game they've made, and I hope everyone loves it too. Shinobi also said that yeah, what he saw, like, basically what he saw through playing Veilguard actually reassured him that BioWare has cooked up a very fine ass meal, I think he called it. So yeah. So again, and I think Ash also said the same, you know, that initially she found the change in art style and art direction. So this may well be the art style that we are getting in the game, but she said after an hour or so playing into it, you get used to it, you adapt to it, and that the trailer really doesn't do it justice, because we're not just taking these characters by themselves. They're set in a world, there's background art, there's concept art, there's all sorts of things going on, the environment, the armor they're wearing, the voice acting, the facial animations, there's all of that to factor in, which we don't really get to see properly in the trailer. So obviously my hope is that they will come across a lot better, you know, when we actually get to see the gameplay. So for me personally, well, yes, I agree. I can see where a lot of you are coming from, and I do think that the tonal shift of the trailer was a bit jarring, was a bit shocking for a lot of people. I didn't hate it. I wouldn't say I hated it, but I would say that it isn't in line with previous trailers that we've gotten for Dragon Age. But then, you know, it's hard to take from a 2-minute trailer everything, you know, in terms of, and making assumptions about what this game is. It's a 2-minute trailer, and sometimes trailers can be misleading, and BioWare in the past have had some weird ass trailers when it comes to like announcing games with strange choices of music. They did the same with Into the Breach, with Dragon Age Inquisition, with that trailer, with Mass Effect Andromeda's trailer as well. I think they had the song I'm Only Human playing in the background, which was a weird tonal shift, and didn't really reflect, you know, what the final game is. So this is the marketing team, obviously, that have created this trailer, and I personally feel that this trailer was not aimed at hardcore Dragon Age fans. I actually think that this trailer, it has been marketed to casual fans, to people that maybe haven't played Dragon Age before, and they're trying to obviously hook in that younger generation to get them interested in Dragon Age, to maybe want to jump in and check it out because they like the look of the characters. And that's the way modern gaming kind of has gone, with this you know, focus on, you know, character, you know, key characters and heroes and things like that, you know, from hero shooters and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of that, but I understand that that's probably what they're doing. I do think that we will have a much better sense of the game after watching the gameplay on the 11th of June, and I am going to hold off on my final kind of assessment of everything until I actually see the gameplay reveal on the 11th of June. I am still excited for the next Dragon Age. I will always be excited about playing the next installment in Dragon Age. I will always go in with an optimistic mindset, with an open mindset, because I want this game to be great. I'm so excited to jump back into Dragon Age, and I'm very excited. I'm almost emotional about how much I love this world and can't wait to jump back into it. I'm going to start playing Dragon Age Inquisition back through in preparation for the Veilguard, and I'm excited just to do that. So as a huge fan of the franchise, I'm excited for it, and I'm going to go into the gameplay reveal on the 11th of June with an open mind, hoping to see something that's going to really interest me. And then, of course, I will be playing the game when it comes out in fall 2024, and of course, I will be reviewing it for you guys to let you know my thoughts on it. But I did want to address, obviously, the reaction to the trailer, because I think it is important to talk about it. It is important to talk about why people are perhaps disappointed, why people are upset, and address it. I think it is important, and I think your feelings on it are valid, but let's keep it real. You know, it's a 2-minute trailer. Let's not make assumptions. Let's wait and see for more gameplay. Please do not attack the people that are in the community, the community council, that are trying to kind of reassure the community. They are also huge Dragon Age fans. I can't think of any people better suited to feed back to BioWare than Carla, Elizabeth, and Lady Insanity and Ash. These are people that love the Dragon Age franchise as much as you and I do, and I cannot imagine them steering BioWare wrong. Hopefully BioWare listened to feedback from them. I hope so. But they love Dragon Age just as much as you and I. So yeah, let's not try and scapegoat or attack people in this. Let's try and keep an open mind. It's not doom and gloom. This is hopefully not the end of BioWare. Hopefully the gameplay we see on the 11th of June will be good. Let's keep our expectations in check. Let's wait and see what happens, and then we'll make a judgment on the 11th of June. And I absolutely will be doing a gameplay breakdown video. I absolutely will be either recording or streaming my reaction to the gameplay reveal as well. And I will 100% be giving you my genuine thoughts and feelings on it, because I always do that. I always feel that I want to give you my honest and genuine feelings on it. And whether you agree with me or not, that's cool. That's totally up to you. We all have our own thoughts on the game. We all have our own opinions on the game. If you decide that you don't like the look of what's coming, you don't like the direction that BioWare is going in, absolutely fine. That is your call to make. But please don't spoil other people's enjoyment of it as well. We are a community, so let's try and, hold each other up rather than tear each other down. But anyway, I hope you guys, of course, are having a great week. I'll be back again all week with more content on the Summer Game Fest reveals, games I'm excited about, more Dragon Age, most definitely. So please do look forward to that. Take care, everybody, and as always, happy gaming. I should go.